Yo, 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 how's everyone doing, brothers and sisters from another mother, because we don't have the same mother, you know what I'm saying? How you guys doing? Welcome to another edition of the Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Hector Cervantes, alongside Brenda Vazquez, the co-host. Brenda, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good, good. So tell us, how's your weekend? How you doing? It's been quite a while since I've seen you, you know
I
what
know.
I'm saying?
I've been working so much, so I'm trying to hang on. Just been working. This past weekend I didn't do much. I just stayed home, got some rest, and that was basically it. Had a couple of soccer games, but
Soccer
not
games?
much
How they
going on.
going?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah?
We won. Yeah.
Yeah. You should invite me, you know what I'm saying? I'm a soccer guy. I love soccer, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, so who do we have on the show today?
So we're gonna have Coach Ryan Strain. We had some baseball finally in action this past weekend, so we're gonna bring him in. And then we're also one of his guys also had a great weekend this past weekend, who is senior pitcher Cade Crader, who pitched an incredible game on Sunday. And we're gonna get to talk about some basketball, bringing on women's head coach Tanya Haave. So it's going to be a cool show today for the audience.
Yeah, that's going to be great. We're actually going to have some special guests, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be cool. And we also want to thank we want to thank a lot the people who helped clear out the baseball and softball fields, as there was a lot of, you know, snow and mess, you know. So props to them, really, really, really good. You know what I'm saying? All right, so before we go into the show, we want to catch you up on what took place this past weekend on Roadrunner Sports. We'll start with our baseball team, who put up a couple of wins on Sunday afternoon at their home park at the Reimagine Athletic Complex. We mentioned Cade Crader, and boy did he impress. His second outing of the season. The senior went 8 innings, didn't give up a single run, and struck out 9 Emporia State batters. The offense also came alive, racking up 11 runs, which included a 2-run blast from Cade Peters in the 4th inning. The squad would go on to beat the Hornets 7-2 on 2 hits.
The softball team took on the defending national champions Augustana on Friday afternoon. Game 1 was a pitcher's duel between the Vikings' Ashley McSholl and Roadrunners' Darby McKee. Darby pitched well, giving up 0 earned runs in just over 7 innings, but the offense couldn't get her any runs as MSU Denver fell 2-0 in 11 innings. The squad will be back at home this past weekend to start up conference play.
Let's get into some hoops, and we'll start with the women's. They hit the road to Spearish, South Dakota to take on the Black Hills State in their chase for the RMAC playoffs. The Roadrunners came through with a big win against the Yellow Jackets. Morgan Lewis recorded her 4th career double, scoring 12 points and pulling down 11 rebounds. It was a 65-55 win for Coach Haave's squad, and they are right there to grab the spot in postseason if they can finish the season off strong.
Now for the men, and they also took on Black Hills State this past weekend. Unfortunately, the squad came up just a bit short in South Dakota. Mitch Lombard scored a game-high 17 points, while Maris Colton grabbed 10 rebounds, but it wasn't enough in the 71-56 loss. The squad will be back home this weekend to try and get back on track.
The inter track and field team completed an Alandil Meckenhead for the Grand Valley State Big Meet. Our men's distance Motley relay team ran an incredible time of 10 minutes and 11 seconds, which is 34 seconds off their previous time, and currently ranks 4th in all the RMAC. Ethan Looper bested his previous time in the 200 meters, finishing the sprint in 22.57 seconds. And Brent Kilman finished 3rd in the long jump. As always, you can find the rest of the results at roadrunnersathletics.com. And now we want to welcome in Coach Tanya Haave for the women's basketball team. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Great,
Good.
great.
Are you ready for the snow? It's
I
supposed to
will
snow
be ready.
today.
Not ready. I know it's supposed to snow tonight. Well, we haven't had enough snow lately, so we might as well get some more.
Right.
Yeah, well, actually we have snow, so yeah,
I
crazy.
know. I'm just being a little sarcastic. So, what we didn't get in January, we're definitely making up for in February.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a good driver in the snow. You know, I tend to just like, you know, cruise around.
So I'm going to not be anywhere near you when I'm on the road. Stay away from me on the road. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. Basically, you know what I'm saying? Talking about road, you actually went to South Dakota, right? Is that correct?
Yes, we did go to South Dakota.
How did that
Wonderful
go?
South Dakota. Well, we got the split. You usually like to say you get the split, but we were hoping to, at this point of the year, to get both wins. But we had a huge win, like you had mentioned earlier, Friday against Black Hills, so it was just awesome. And then I think we used a lot of energy in that game. We had some circumstances where we used so much energy that we just kind of fell flat Saturday night. But the split, you're going to have anything better than not winning any. So at this point of the year, splitting on the road is good.
Yeah, and actually that was, you guys went on a bus, right?
Yes.
So how long did that took?
Well, we left at 11 o'clock on Thursday. We got there around 5:30. It's about 6.5 hours.
Oh, wow, that's quite a lot.
Long drive.
What do you guys do on the way over?
Well, we usually watch some movies, read, sleep, a little bit of everything, and chat with the player. I think the players just kind of yuck it up in the back, but they've got all their movies and everything. So actually, it's not too bad. It just gets a little bit long.
Yeah, it gets tiring.
We make the most of it.
Cool.
So your first game was against Black Hills State, which was a team that you played earlier in the season, but it was a much needed win as well. So did you have to say much to your team, or were they just pumped by themselves? Or?
Well, so we've had a little bit. We had some pink eye going through our team. So Gabby Lucero got pink eye. Well, Maggie Justinak had pink eye earlier in the week. We got that taken care of. But then Maggie got pink eye. Wasn't going to be able to play. And then Leah Harvey, our starting center, had pink eye as well. So we were out with those two. And we had Jaden Galloway, Jayla Richardson, and Bree Wellington had to miss the first half for a personal growth opportunity. So we were at 7 players for the first half. And we're like, oh my goodness, we're going to struggle here. But we ended up being only down by 1 at halftime, and then we had most of our team back other than Leia. So for that reason, I think it was a great team win on the road. And we just played well, and we were able to limit Black Hills. They love to shoot the three. We were able to limit their threes in the second half, and then we just got to the rim, got to the basket, got to the free throw line, and we really just took them out of their game, and we played well. So it was a huge, huge win for us Friday night.
Yeah, that's great. So it was just 1-point game at halftime, but then your offense, as you said, exploded, you know what I'm saying, with actually 29 points.
Yes.
Right? By third quarter. So that's crazy. What exactly went through your guys' mind?
I think we had our starters back. We got Jaden Galloway back and Bree Wellington and Jayla Richardson because they didn't play the first half. So we got them back, and I think they really gave us an added boost from the starters that we'd had in the first half.
Crazy. That's good. That's good. I mean,
that makes me think I should rest them all the first half again, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, it was good. Really good win.
Great. Yeah.
And it wasn't just one player that went off. It was everyone. Everyone was getting into act in the third quarter. Is that good? That this offense can be when it's running on all cylinders?
Yeah, it's good to have the balance because then no one can key on any one player. So you have to try and stop so-and-so or so-and-so. We've got players that can really step up their game at any point in time. So I like the balance that we've got, especially looking ahead towards these last 3 games and also for the future next year.
Yeah. So your squad went on to win, take the 65-55 win.
Yep.
And you told Rob that this is one of the proudest moments of your career.
Right.
Yes.
Because of the circumstances, we had 2 pink eye.
Yeah.
We literally had 7 players in the first half. I called them the Magnificent 7. And then they were the terrific 10 for the second half. But to find a way to grind that game out with a lot of heart was huge. So it was one of the better victories in my coaching career. Because on the road, and Black Hills is a really hard place to play.
So the Magnificent 7, you could say, is like the headline for your now title, you know?
Yeah, my title, my memoir. Yeah. Magnificent
You're gonna put it out there, you know what I'm saying? Look up there. Oh, I remember that time, you know?
I remember that game. Yeah, I will remember that game a long time.
That's great.
For a long time.
So the next night was a tough night for your squad and a loss to South Dakota. Just give us some quick thoughts of that game.
Well, I think it was kind of, when I look back on it, kind of a Murphy's Law game. They're one of the hardest teams. They are on a 9-game winning streak. So they're one of the hottest teams with Colorado School of Mines in the league right now. And they're on their home floor, a lot of confidence. And they didn't have to play very hard the night before. They beat Chadron by 30, and none of their players played more than 28 minutes. Whereas we had a really hard-fought game.
Yeah.
I think we gave what we could in the second game, but we just couldn't hit a shot. And then the more shots that we kept missing, it started affecting us on the other end. And then the rebounding was huge. We lost the rebounding battle 49-34, and they had a lot of second chance points. And I just think we just kind of ran out of gas that second night. Not an excuse. We've got to be able to fix that, but we have not proven that we can put back-to-back games together this season, and we've got to put together the next 3 games. We have to win these next 3 games if we want a chance to be in the conference tournament.
All right, Coach. Well, we have some trivia for you now. You know,
I have not been very good at trivia this year, but I'll give it my best shot.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, you took 6 hours from here to South Dakota.
I should have studied my trivia then.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Next
saying.
time I will. Next game.
Yeah.
Next trip.
So we're gonna give you multiple chances to get several points, and boost your, you know what I'm saying?
Get me up in the standings.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
Perfect. All right.
So here's the question. There have been 11 women basketball head coaches in MSU Denver history. We'll give you a point for each one you can name, but you only have 45 seconds.
Okay.
You ready?
Starting
Okay. Our boss is gonna
setting
tell
up
us.
the
Okay, Eric's gonna secure it up.
45 seconds.
3, 2, 1,
All right,
go.
Jane Colbert, Linda Lappy, me, Daryl Smith, Dave Murphy. Oh, that's about all I know.
Keep going. Just mention
That's
names.
all I know. Oh my gosh.
I'm like nervous for her.
I don't know.
I'll give you a head sign.
I don't know any of the Dave Murphy, Daryl Smith. Did I get him? Daryl Smith.
Yeah, you got it.
Yes.
Daryl Smith, Jane Colbert. That's all I know. Linda Lappy. Oh, Mike Power.
Mike Power,
Mike
yep.
Power, Dave Murphy, Jane Colbert. I don't know any of the ones past that.
All right, well, that's great.
How many
She
points
got
did I
more
get?
than half. 6.
So who did I miss?
So you missed
Cindy.
I didn't
Cindy
know her.
Goodalls.
Okay.
Betty Cruz.
But I got the Betty Kruger. Oh, I forgot about Betty Kruger. But I know the first one, Jane Colbert. She was the first coach.
And then Shayla Westcott,
The only one that I
Tina
really missed.
Breskovac, and Teresa Fares.
Okay. The only one that I really missed that I should have known was Betty Kruger. Pretty good.
Oh,
got
yeah,
6
that's
though.
still
That's
pretty
good.
good. Yeah.
6, yeah, good.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, if you didn't study, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty good,
Imagine if she
arguably.
studied, she would have gotten all of them right.
Right,
I
yeah.
think I'm in last place, aren't I? Right now in trivia?
No, actually.
Oh.
Not
Oh,
anymore.
not anymore.
No, not with
I
this
moved up.
place, you know what I'm saying?
Thanks for helping me out there.
Yeah,
Thanks, Eric.
no worries.
Third place. Now I'm in
Third place.
Yes.
Great. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, well,
Any more
Coach.
trivia? No more?
No more, unfortunately.
Awesome.
In the
Okay,
future,
good.
that's right. All right, well, Coach, we want to thank you so much for hanging
thank
out
you.
with
You guys
us.
were fun. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
of course.
A lot of fun.
So we have one break to go. Well, first break to go, actually. But before that, let's bring you the tweet of the week. It comes from Andrew Chavez, catcher from our baseball team. You can follow him at Chavi, and that's spelled CHAVV and 3 Ys. The tweeted out a video of the squad practicing in the snow last Wednesday afternoon. The squad had the snow both in the drills and the shoving at all of the fields. Stuff like that will make you tough and will help your squad pull off a couple of wins this weekend. Time for one more break, but stay tuned. We're going to talk some baseball up next in the Coach's Corner.
How do you imagine your college experience? 4 years in front of a whiteboard before you start your real life? Not me. I want a school in the heart of the city that is the heart of the city. I want a campus that looks like the real world and hustles like the real world, where I can learn with my hands, my head, and my heart. Where students take to the sky, flying circles around the competition, and finding direct paths right here on campus to space-related careers. Where entrepreneurs have license to innovate, to brew up new ideas in hospitality. I want a school where the only limits are what I can dream. Where classes lead to careers and opportunity. Where cyber warriors train. Tomorrow's teachers grow. Poets, painters, and performers learn to feed their souls and their families. I want to study with professors that care more about me than their next book, who are leaders in their fields and industry icons, but whose greatest expertise is sharing that expertise with me. I want a university that sees me, knows me, that looks beyond my grades, my past, and sees what is possible.
Hi, I'm Leah Harvey. I'm a senior from the women's basketball team. And you're watching the coaches, let's try that again. And you're watching okay, one more time. And you're watching the Coaches Corner Get Rowdy.
Yo, welcome back. And before we talk with Coach Strain, we want to tell you about a cool promotion that's happening here at the Tivoli Tap House. Have you ever envisioned yourself staying at the Ritz-Carlton Bachelor's Gulch in Beaver Creek, Colorado? Well, here's your chance. All you have to do is visit TivoliBrewingCo.com and click the promotion tab. Type in your name and email, and that's it. The contest will run from now until March 17, and you must be 21 to enter. It's a beautiful place to stay, and stay there for 2 nights. So again, TivoliBrewingCo.com to earn your chance for 2 nights staying at the Ritz-Carlton Bachelor's Gulch. So now we welcome in Coach. Coach, how you doing?
Good, how are you guys? Good to see you.
Yeah, good. How was your weekend? Tell us.
It was okay. It was better on Sunday than on Saturday. So.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about a little bit more about it. Yeah. So before we get into the games, actually, our boss right here, Eric Lansing, wants to know about the video that was posted on Twitter, from catcher Andrew.
Yes.
Yeah. So what was that all about?
Well, last week, as you guys remember, the weather wasn't that great. So we were in the middle of moving snow, and guys were trying to get in some practice time, and most of the time we had spent indoors, and guys were kind of sick of being inside. So we wanted to try to stay outside, and we started throwing bullpens. But as we started, it wasn't snowing, but we had about 13, 14 pitchers that had to throw, and as it kind of started to go, the snow started coming down harder and harder. So one of our catchers, Andrew Chavez, took a video of it and posted it on social media of our guys basically throwing bullpens and snow everywhere. So it wasn't ideal, but we got through it.
That's fun, though. That's fun. Yeah, that's cool.
So, Strain, last time we had you on the show was just before your series against Fort Hays State on the road. So tell us a little bit on how that series went, and looked like you were in every game.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, we lost 4 games by 6 runs. We had a winning run on base each game, and we just couldn't get them in. And so it was frustrating, especially the first week out. You want to obviously get some wins. I thought we played well in a lot of areas. We pitched really well. We just didn't swing the bats the way that I thought we were capable of. And it was disappointing, but we were, like you said, we were in every game, gave ourselves a chance, and that's a good thing. We didn't get blown out, and so we had some things to work on, and hopefully over that 2-week break that we had, we started to work on some of those things to get ourselves ready for Emporia last week.
So, Coach, you mentioned that we had a lot of snow in your field, you know what I'm saying? So this is not the first time, you know what I'm saying, you played on this type of weather before. Do you think this helps your team come together or get closer, you know what I'm saying, because they have to be prepared for this? Yeah.
They've had to do a lot of stuff together. I mean, they basically were 4 or 5 straight days where we were out there shoveling snow, whether it was out of the cages or we had a lot of help from Jared Otis, our associate AD, former baseball coach. So he kind of gets it, which helps me, So we have somebody that knows what it's like to need help to get that snow off. So we had a lot of help from him and from the AHEC workers and our players shoveling. And so even though we weren't able to practice that much, they got together, and for some of the time it was probably fun. But then after a while, it's like, we're getting tired of this snow. I mean, I don't know how much landed, but I said, we definitely at least moved over a foot over an entire baseball field, which is a lot of snow.
Yeah. So this brings up a really good question. Do you like snow?
No, I don't at all. Definitely not this time of year. I said it can snow in December and January up until we start team practice. But once January 10th starts, we want no more snow. Unfortunately, December and January were dry. There was no snow, and now we get into February, and this seems like it's not going to stop.
Yeah, gotcha.
So you got the snow cleared in Emporia State this past weekend. Saturday it looked like you faced a good pitcher in game 1, and then you actually held a good lead in game 2. So give us your thoughts on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough assignment, especially for our hitters. I mean, we played on Sunday, and then it took 13 days until we were able to get outside and play the live pitching, and then we ended up facing probably one of the better Division II arms that we'll see this year. He had 0 earned runs coming into the game after 2 starts. Unfortunately, he left our game without any earned runs either. So, but he was really good. So that was a tough task. But our guys battled. We were in the game. Lost by a few runs. And then the second game, we really swung the bats well and got off to a big lead. And then unfortunately, we just weren't able to hold on to it. And really, had one big inning, and that's really the only bad inning our pitching staff has had throughout our first 8 games. So, they've done a really nice job. So it was unfortunate to let this slip away. But I told our guys, after Saturday when we came back and won big in both games that, I was really proud of them. It's one of the most proud I've been of a team in my 15 years, just because everything had pretty much hadn't gone our way in those first 6 games, and then being off for 2 weeks and having to move snow, and they handled it and they didn't quit, and they kept getting better. And that's a good team we played. They're picked in the top of their conference, and they have good players. And I was really proud of the way that not only the way we hit, but then we obviously pitched really well those 2 games too.
Yeah, so Sunday, you guys did amazing, especially your pitcher, Cade Crader, right? So he did amazing. He did a wonderful job. Can you talk a little bit about his performance?
Yeah, Cade did a really good job. He pitched really well the first week too. And actually 2 years ago when I first took the job, he was pitching really well for us. And unfortunately, kind of a freak accident hurt his back, broke a bone in his back, and so he missed most of the rest of that season. And then last season he was hurt a lot, so he didn't get to pitch a whole lot. But nobody's worked harder to get himself in the best shape that he's ever been in. He's worked really hard. His velocity's gone up. All his pitches have gotten better. And going into the season, he's a guy that's going to throw strikes, command the zone, give us a chance to win, and he's done a really good job. I mean, they really had 0 chance, this weekend. I mean, he was dominant, really had very few hard hit balls, really did a nice job, and really set the tone to give our hitters a chance to get things going. And then once we started swinging the bat and scored a bunch of runs, that kind of gave us that boost to go into the second game.
Do you feel he's more of a natural player? He's talented just like that, or he's worked his way to that point?
He's definitely worked at it. I mean, he actually came in to MSU Denver when Coach Otis recruited him as a 2-way player. So he was doing position player and he was pitching my first year here. And we kind of did that for basically the whole fall, kind of into the spring. And then we decided, hey, we think your future, if you would work at it just at pitching, it's going to be a really good thing for you and for us. And so since he's focused just on pitching, I think we've seen just continually gotten better and better and better. And he's definitely, right now, the way that he's throwing is giving us a chance every time we go out.
Cool.
So we also saw that the offense was making a bunch of runs both games, which I'm sure you were happy to see that after struggling for a little bit. While you hit a couple of home runs, it looked like you were stringing home hits together as well. Is that what fans should expect from the team more than a bunch of runs?
I hope so. I mean, I hope we continue to string things, along. I mean, hitting is contagious. Once one guy gets going, and, as we had those first, 4 games, 5 games, we just were just okay. 6th game we started swinging it. Chase Anderson, one of our better hitters, really started to swing the bat, and then Dylan Nelson got in there, swung the bat well, and then Cade Peters got hot as well. So those 3 guys kind of got it going, and then everybody else kind of joined in, and which was good to see. I mean, when we lost Logan Sewell in that first or second day of our season, middle of order bat, our preseason All-American, some other guys had to step up, and so I was happy to see them do that. We hit some home runs. We started to get some momentum. We were able to steal some bases and put some guys in motion, which is important to us. And we just couldn't do that the first few games because we had nobody in base to do it. So it was nice. When we can get things rolling, we can put pressure on people. I think we're really tough to defend, and hopefully we continue to do that throughout the season.
Yeah. So you get those first 2 games wins of the season. Is there that big sigh of relief, or sometimes that first win is the hardest to get, right?
It's always hardest to get. I mean, when you start the season, you really don't have anything to, kind of fall back on if you've played well before. And so, you lose 6 straight and you're kind of going, what's going on? Especially, I think, for us, even the coaching staff and the players, I think it was more shock. We just have a really talented team. I thought really we were the more talented team than the other 2 teams we played, but it just didn't work out. So, but it was nice to get that off our back, and I was able to sleep for the first time on Sunday night, so that was nice too.
So before we go, we have to mention that your daughter is selling Girl Scout cookies. So big time for you to promote your daughter and help her out to sell some on the show.
Yes, we are selling a lot of cookies. Unfortunately, my wife decided to volunteer to be the cookie mom this year. So we can't park our van in our garage because that table's just full. There's tables in there full of cookies. So we're trying to get them out as quick as possible. So she did a really good job today with her troop that came to Tivoli Tap House, sold a bunch of cookies. They'll be back here tomorrow selling cookies all day long, or you can email me or come by. We'll be selling them at the games as well. So she's done really well this weekend at games and then at the Tap House. So I got to get rid of them so I don't eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look pretty tasty, not gonna lie. Oh, especially the mint ones.
Yeah.
My boss is really into minty cookies.
Well,
You know?
thank you for buying some cookies.
Right?
Yeah. All right. Well, Coach, that's it. We want to thank you so much for hanging out with us.
You bet. Thank you for having me,
Yeah,
guys.
of
Good luck.
course. Well, we have one more break to take, but stay tuned since we have one special guest right next in the Coach's Corner.
Hi, I'm Javier Vega, and I'm a senior on the baseball team.
The 2-2 pitch from Vega, swing and a miss, strike three, high heat.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
Yo, what's up? We're back and we're with a special guest. So senior pitcher, Cade Crader.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Nice. That's great, man. Senior already. That's crazy. Well, but before we get a little bit more into it, let's ask you about you. We want to know a little bit about you. So you grew up in Aurora. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And you ended up playing here for Metro. What turn of events made you do that? You know.
I mean, just for me, it was just kind of wanted to stay close to home. You know, play with, you know, some people that I knew from around here. And like I said, the big thing is I just didn't really want to go play in like another state and be far away from home because my parents are pretty supporting. So, I mean, from my end, it's nice to have them around and still be close to home and get everything in and done.
Yeah. So do you get to go home every time you're done with class and everything?
No, I still live downtown just for convenience. But I mean, like every other couple weekends or something like that, I can go stop home and have some family dinner and stuff, which is nice. Get to see my brothers and everything.
Cool. That's great, man.
Yeah.
Did you have any other offers, or was it always MSU, or?
I was talking to a few schools. One of them that I was kind of considering was a school in California, a D3. It was Chapman University.
Oh.
I was pretty interested in it, honestly, even though it was in California, but it was just the price was astronomical,
Yeah.
so we kind of decided against that. But yeah, I mean, Metro was one that I was looking at since high school, just because, like I said, I knew the program kind of all throughout high school, and we played at the field and everything. So
Yeah. So when you got here, Jared Otis,
yeah.
Otis.
Okay. Was your coach? Is that correct?
Yeah, my freshman year.
Your freshman year, and now you're a senior. Now you have a different coach. Was that transition smooth, or how do you feel?
I would say overall it went pretty well. I mean, my sophomore year, which was Strain's first year, I would say it was just different on my end just because he brought in a lot of new guys, so there's a lot of new players, and I would say just a different coaching style in general. So it was easy to get used to, but it was definitely, you could tell it was just a different feeling, kind of just on the field and just with the guys he was bringing in. It was a little bit of a different process, yeah.
But you're liking, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk. Let's not talk trash right now, bro.
So it says on your bio at roadrunnersathletics.com that you are majoring in aerospace engineering.
Yeah.
Tell us why you chose that major and what you're planning to do after with that.
I mean, I chose it just because I've always been kind of interested in space and all that stuff. So I think for me, the most direct route to that was to kind of get into learning about it, and hopefully, you know, what I want to do is end up designing and building, you know, satellites and spacecraft, that type of stuff. That's just what I'm interested in. So that's hopefully the path that I'm going to go down. I'm trying to set up some internships for this summer once baseball's over, so we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah. So you're looking to work with NASA or SpaceX?
I mean, it'd be cool. SpaceX would be awesome.
Yeah.
Both of those would be awesome. I mean, right now I'm just looking at some local companies. You know, Lockheed Martin's around here. There's Ball Aerospace. I mean, there's a ton of options in Denver, which is nice. York Aerospace is on campus, which is kind of cool. So, like I said, there's a lot right in this area, which is nice.
Yeah, that's great. Space is always very fast, you know, so it's super cool, not gonna lie. So, all right. So you have a couple brothers too, you know what I'm saying? You have Levi and Cole.
Levi, yeah.
Levi.
Cole, yeah.
All
Like
right,
the
thank you.
shoe Levi, you know?
Ah, okay.
Right?
Well, thank you for your correction, you know what I'm saying? So are they also athletic?
Yeah, so Levi, he's my older brother. and he played basketball all throughout high school. We obviously all went to the same high school, but so he played basketball all throughout high school and a little bit into college. He went to CSU, and then my younger brother played baseball and football all throughout high school, and then it's been kind of dabbling around. He goes to CU right now, so he's been kind of thinking about doing the club team there. But yeah, our whole family's always been involved in sports, yeah.
Yeah, who's the best one?
Come on.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. You know what I'm
Levi's
saying?
like-
Oh, well, that's great. Great to know.
Yeah. So now let's talk about your past weekend where you had a couple games. From your outing from yesterday, you went 8 innings, 0 runs allowed, and had 9 strikeouts. Were you just laser focused in that game?
I mean, yeah, that's honestly what it felt like. I think going into it, like I said, pretty much, you know, with how the previous games have gone, the only option was to, you know, give my best effort to try to turn it around. And like I said, I think just being focused and staying focused was kind of a big part of that for sure.
So while this grade was happening, are you talking to your teammates on the bench, or are you still locked into the game?
I mean, a little bit of both. I'd say for the most part, I'm pretty locked in. For me, I like to just stay up and moving and like stretching in between innings, just like because I don't want to tighten up.
Yeah.
So I'm usually just moving around, walking the dugout, stretching, and from time to time I'll have a teammate come up to me and tell me something, or just to watch out for something, or whatever it is, whatever's going on out there. So it's a little bit of both.
Yeah. Good.
So have you been working on something during the off season? Because I mean, you came in and you're on fire, man. What's up?
I mean, really, I think the big thing for me was just making sure I was healthy coming back. 'Cause like I said, in the past I've had some issues with my arm and shoulder, so that was the main thing. But like I said, I think for me, it was just getting stronger and just getting ready for the season, and just making sure all my pitches were right and ready to go for the start. Yeah.
So, Cody.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I know I'm really bad with names, so I always mess up. Well, we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. You know what I'm saying? Thank you.
Keep killing it.
Thanks. Thanks.
We want to wish you the best of luck, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So now, before we wrap up the show, we want to tell you what's happening this weekend in Roadrunners sports. Our basketball teams will wrap up their home schedule this Friday and Saturday night. New Mexico Highlands will come to the Aurora Event Center on Friday with tip-off times at 5:30 and 7:30. Then it's the Thunderwolves from CSU Pueblo for Saturday night matchups, and they'll get going at 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Come to the gym, as we'll be celebrating senior weekend for 7 student athletes.
Cade and his baseball squad will be back on the road this weekend. They'll head to Edmond, Oklahoma to take on Central Oklahoma. The Broncos won 38 games a season ago, and it will be a good test for the Roadrunners. The softball team will be back at the Regency Athletic Complex hosting pod play with Colorado Christian and New Mexico Highlands. They'll start it off on Saturday morning at 11 a.m.
And finally, the indoor track and field team will head to Golden on Friday to compete in the Colorado Mines Triangular. It will be the last meet before the RMAC Championship in a few weeks. So great luck to Coach Christopher and her squad this weekend.
And we have to announce who our student athlete of the week is. And drum roll, please, Hector. It's guess who?
I'm not sure who.
Our boy, Cade
Oh my
Crader.
God, no way, bro! What are you talking about?
He had that incredible outing against Emporia State yesterday. 9 strikeouts, 0 runs allowed in 8 innings, earning the win. Cade, was that the biggest outing of the career, of your career?
Honestly, yeah, probably that I can remember. I haven't thrown that many pitches in a while, so yeah.
That's
good.
crazy, bro. That's great. Look at you making plays on fire.
Yeah.
You're looking good, bro.
Thank you.
You single, bro? Hey, no, don't answer, bro. Don't answer. All right. Well, that's going to wrap everything for tonight. We want to thank Coach Haave, Coach Strain, and, of course, Cody, my boy, for hanging out with us. For Brenda Vazquez, I'm Hector Cervantes. See you next time.